Hey friends, welcome back. So MrBeast is fake. These are the allegations coming from a former staffer that said, you know what, he made like an hour-long YouTube video, like, you know what, don't trust the stuff that's going over there at MrBeast production, saying that like the way things are edited may not necessarily be accurate. They may be adding dialogue, maybe moving things around that isn't necessarily accurate of what happened, or maybe like the timers in their shows, because MrBeast does a lot of competition stuff, maybe not accurate. They try to make the events seem closer than they really are. Maybe some of the contests, like the giveaways and the stuff that they give out to people, maybe it's all predetermined, maybe that stuff's all fake as well. And it's like the litany goes on and on and on and on and on. I think there was a guy who responded, one of MrBeast's staff said, no, that prior staff person, they only worked here a short period, they're just making up a bunch of stuff to get attention, that kind of thing. And who do you believe? Well, I wanted to share my thoughts on this because a couple people asked me about this kind of thing. I used to work in Hollywood. I was also a professor. I teach this kind of stuff, like how to make content, essentially. And I'll just tell you guys this. MrBeast is entertainment. And I just look at it as like a TV show. My opinion on that MrBeast thing, I don't think there's any explicit contract that says things on this thing have to be real. If you guys have a different opinion on that, because I don't watch MrBeast enough, you can let me know. Do you feel like there's a contract in there that says that this stuff has to be real? Most of MrBeast's audience are children, so that's why I don't really watch it that much. I know what it is. MrBeast is the biggest channel on YouTube. I think he's got like 300 million subscribers. So, but it's a TV show at this point, and I've said that all along. Like every time I look at it, it's like, yeah, it's just a TV show. It's highly produced, highly edited. It's like quick editing, so nothing's really real anymore. And I don't watch it because I prefer people who are real, but that's just me. When I first started watching YouTube years ago, for me it was just like, hey, what is an honest person, real person's opinion of a phone? What is an honest person's real opinion of a video game or a computer or a car or whatever? Even today, I like to watch videos about plants. What's an honest person's opinion about plants? Like, which plant do you like? That kind of stuff. The thing is that these days it's like, you guys know this, there's so many YouTubers out there that it's completely fake. Like everything's like highly edited, and they're just, how can I say, what's the right word to say it? Saying things that you want to hear, right? So I do, finance news all the time. So if they know that the audience wants to hear that their Tesla stock or their doggy stock is going to go to, the moon, then you make content catering to that. I don't do that because I think, frankly, it's disingenuous and practically lying, or just outright lying, or people just misrepresent stuff to you because, again, they're catering to that audience. So much of YouTube these days is fake because people aren't really interested in giving you an honest opinion. They're interested in pandering and like telling you what you want to hear, because this is how it is. If I tell you what you want to hear, you feel good, and you keep watching because like, oh, I want to feel good, right? And it just depends, like everyone's goal on YouTube. For me, I feel it's a disservice if I come out and just tell you stuff that's simply not true, or unrealistic, is that a good way to say it? Or, it's so hard, guys. Or another way to put it, like, how about this? If you want to be popular on YouTube, you rent a Lambo and you drive on your Lambo and you tell everyone how cool it is to have a Lambo. And all the kids want to watch that. Because remember, the content is for kids. I know a lot of very wealthy individuals, and none of them have Lambos. They live pretty regular lives, as probably more regular than you would imagine. They don't necessarily buy their kid all the toys that all their kids want, because this is reality. If you buy your kids all the toys that they want, like, they're going to turn out to be pretty rotten kids and spoiled kids, right? But if you take like the YouTube world, that'll be like more Kardashian kind of thing of like, the dad and the mom buy whatever toys that the Kardashian kids or whatever, and it has to be Kardashian, but that kind of family buying whatever they want, and then you watch said kids live some sort of crazy lifestyle, but then you can see that the way that they turn out. I talk about this stuff is because I hope you guys understand sort of why many YouTube channels don't do reality, and why the YouTube channels that do reality, in terms of like, what do you mean by reality, right? But like, real honest advice, don't do that well, because that's not what kids want to hear. Kids want candy all the time, right? Just think about it. If you want to be popular on YouTube, you basically just give kids candy. But this over time, sugar's not really good for you. If I say, hey guys, eat apples, eat bananas, eat your vegetables, it's not popular at all. But the reality is, if you want to have a healthy life, that's what you eat. And you have to think about YouTube in that way. And it's interesting. I was thinking about the whole MrBeast thing, you know, whether or not it's fake or not. To me, it's just entertainment, and I think it's all fake as it is. I mean, anything that's heavily edited. So, you know, whether or not everything on MrBeast thing is fake in terms of like what the former staffer is saying, you know, like I said, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be shocked. Okay. The other issue that MrBeast is dealing with right now is like he has a former staffer that may or may not be sending, you know, what's the right word to say it, you know, because we're talking on YouTube here. We'll just say inappropriate things to minors. I don't know. I'll just say nothing surprises me in this world. There was a recent YouTuber, I think his name was Dr. Disrespect, if you guys know. He got canceled from Twitch a couple of years ago, and then it came out recently that he was sending inappropriate things to minors, like text or whatever. It's not just on YouTube, guys. This happens in the workplace all the time, unfortunately, and my opinion on this stuff is I absolutely hate it. And I don't like, and this is the world that we live in, I don't like that part of US culture these days is like this crazy culture of enablers, right? People just go along with it because, oh, that person's famous, so therefore they can get away with anything, or that person's rich, therefore they can get away with anything. But what I always tell you guys, you know, if you have a sister, if you have a mom, if you have a wife, if you have an aunt, or anything, this kind of stuff. And also too, it's not just harassment against females, it can be harassment against male. I'll give you an example. There's a famous person you may not know. His name is Terry Crews. He was in the Old Spice commercials, but he's talked about being sexually harassed. And you can see how that would work, right? He's a handsome guy, he's a strong guy, and any number of executives can come up and just start touching him all over for whatever reason, right? And then you're kind of like, okay, that's my personal space, don't touch me. And it's like, and it's, unless you've been in these kind of things, you don't realize like how egregious stuff happens. Like I said, I work in Hollywood, and like all kinds of crazy stuff happens all the time. It's just the world that it is, and that's one of the reasons why I left. It was just unhealthy. It's an unhealthy environment. Will things get better? I hope so. You know, because going back to the MrBeast show, you know, there's allegations that the show is fake in terms of the way it's editing, and then there's allegations that, you know, their staff members are doing, you know, inappropriate things. I'll leave it at that. And you put this on top of like the other cultural thing that's going on right now, which is the Elon Musk thing. He recently tweeted out an AI video of Kamala Harris. I made a video right away and expressing my, what's word to say, disdain, dislike, displeasure, however you want to say it. It's really dangerous to do that. Now, the people defending Mr. Musk are like, oh, well, can't you take a joke, Chris? It's really funny, ha ha ha. But like, guys, okay. If Mr. Musk tweets out a cartoon, and I mean seriously, like an animation cartoon, not Kamala's voice, whatever, or you know, political cartoon, like whatever joke that you want to go do your jokes, right? When we're getting into this AI stuff where I can replicate a person's voice, it is really, really dangerous. And it's awkward because it's like I feel like people aren't taking this seriously enough. And I understand we live in a world where it's kind of the Musk world of where like everything's just about being as haha funny as you can, and nothing is serious anymore. And you know, and just, you guys may not know this, Mr. Musk is accused of all kinds of sexual harassment at his companies and creating a culture of that, which I can totally see it, and I can totally get, and I can totally get how there's a bunch of, you know, people out there that enable that kind of behavior. You know, and this is, it's sad. This is like kind of where our culture is. And so we have to deal with that kind of stuff, all the bad stuff that goes on in the workplace and stuff like that. Then we have to deal with the whole new understanding this technology of the AI thing. So let me guys give you some examples. I know I'm pivoting to a different topic, but it's related because I feel like we're wrestling with this, like, what is real anymore, right? Both Tom Hanks and Scarlett Johansson, I think they sued companies recently because companies used, you know, their AI image and AI voice to basically be an advertisement for said companies. It's basically the same kind of thing. When you're literally using someone's voice and image to promote whatever thing you want to promote, it's without their permission. It's nuts. The thing that we're in. So like, I give you an example like how dangerous stuff can be. And it's frustrating talking about this stuff because it's like you either get it or you don't, or you choose to not get it, whatever. But I think it's important to talk about this stuff because like the dangerous stuff is very real. I was watching something recently, and I could play a clip. I'll just tell you about it. There's these websites out there that they only need like 30 seconds of your voice essentially, and then they can basically clone you, and then they can have you say whatever. And so basically, a scammer can call you up on the phone, and they'll call older people, and they'll say like, oh, hey, I'm your son, and I just got in a car wreck. I need you to wire me, $6,000 or whatever in like 10 minutes because I need to, pay the hospital fee for the ER or something like that. And it literally sounds just like the person, and it responds just like the person, and so the parents like send the money right away. And then the parents will call the spouse and say, oh, we just sent money to your husband, and then be like, well, what are you talking about? What's wrong? My husband's right here. And then they're like, oh my God, we just got scammed. Like the dangers of this technology is very real. And the other thing too with the whole Musk situation is like he owns a social media company, and there's policies on there about you need to literally tag your content if it is AI generated, but instead he just doubles down like ha ha ha, freedom of speech, etc. The other ways that this AI stuff can be used, I'm just giving you different examples because it's like stuff that I wasn't even thinking about. My wife said recently she read something that we're like in the Ukraine war. Maybe both sides are using it. Who knows? I don't know which side is using it, but you can do a thing where like you replicate, say a platoon leader's voice or some sort of general or whatever, and then you can have them call up the unit and be like, hey, time to retreat, right? Or hey, I need you to attack over there, or hey, I need you to march this way, right? That like think how crazy this technology is, and this is something that I really shy away from. Meaning like I don't do it. It's like this AI voice stuff because I could easily copy anyone's voice and make jokes about whoever that I want, but I feel like I said, guys, I have a sense of humor, right? I do parodies all the time, but there has to be a real discussion about what do we do with this AI stuff, right? How do we think about it? And I actually want to read a comment that just came in from someone in the community just 10 minutes ago. I'll read it here. This is coming in from Jai there, and I'll put it up on screen. It says here, I hope for a future where people realize the importance of real-world connection and experiences, and all this AI autonomous stuff gets rejected. I want a healthier future for people, not one that promotes laziness and virtual robotic replacements for tasks that are important parts of our daily routine. And this was pushed back because, remember, Elon Musk wants us to live in a world where we all buy his robot, and our robot's going to do all the work for us, and I guess we're going to stay at home and do nothing and give all our money to Lord Elon. but like, I don't know, some people want to live in that world, and then I guess we just stay at home and do mean jokes of doggy coins or whatever. And I think this also goes to where, like, why sort of my philosophy of this whole stuff with YouTube or whatever is like everything's uncut, and I just have it sit down and have a chat with you. Sometimes the words I say maybe they aren't perfect sentences. Sometimes that maybe my audios aren't great or whatever, like just for example, but I'm a real person. I'm right here. And I think anytime you watch something that's like highly edited, just assume it's not necessarily reality. And that goes for your MrBeast, that goes for anything with Mr. Musk or any of the scammy YouTubers out there and stuff like that. And my opinion is people get kind of fed up with this hyper edited, surreal MrBeast world, and or now even AI stuff where everything's fake, and then push more towards the real. I think that's where probably it'll go eventually, but I could be completely wrong. We could be heading towards a world to where people prefer the unreal. People want to live in the oasis. If you guys know that book and movie Ready Player One, maybe that's what we're all going to live in, like trailer park stacks and like spend all our days in VR. But that's why I read the quote from someone in our community. I do think it's unhealthy, right? I personally think there's nothing wrong with watching YouTube, but guys, I watch YouTube. Like I was saying, like these days for me, it's plants. There's a couple of people on YouTube that have really interesting things on plants. They go out into their garden and they cut up their plant and they show you how to like do roots and stuff like that. That kind of thing. I find that entertaining. Or when I watch YouTube, for example, we always look at YouTube before we go traveling anywhere because you want to see like what's it like to go visit said place. And the way that I think about it is like, because you'll see it. I don't want to see the AI generated stuff. You'll see that stuff. There's a bunch of the AI generated stuff. I don't want to see the hotel like photos and stuff like that. I literally just want to see a regular person tell me their honest opinion, right? And I hope that you guys want that as well. I don't, I don't know. I think, honestly, I think that probably at least right now, the vast majority of social media market, they just want to feel good and be told that they're all going to be rich, and they want to, well, how can I say, they don't necessarily want the truth. So, I think there's going to be pushback that in the future, but, we can have different opinions on this stuff. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the MrBeast thing, the Elon Musk stuff, and sort of reality in general. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this, and I'll catch you on the next video.